Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I thank you for joining us for another exciting ADA accessibility opening here in Scarsdale. This is our second Metro North completion just in the few weeks of 2024. I'm MTA Chair and CEO Jano Lieber. I'm here with Metro North President Kathy Rinaldi, MTA Construction and Development President Jamie Torres-Springer, and Chief Accessibility Officer Quimel Arroyo. That's our MTA team. But we're joined by an amazing collection of elected and local leaders who are very much part of the transit team and make a lot happen. I just want to acknowledge Amy Paulin, who's done so much for transit, not just in Westchester, but in the entire state. State Senator Shelley Mayer, a great partner in Albany. County Executive George Latimer, who we work with every day on the emergencies and also on building Metro North and the transit system of the region, and Scarsdale Mayor Justin Aris. Thank you for being here. Also have to acknowledge the trustees of the Village of Scarsdale, Gruenberg and Mazer. Thank you for being here as well. Behind me are some of the folks who built this job, and we always want to honor them, and we'll be acknowledging them as we go. Today we're celebrating the opening of a second elevator at this station, which is, by the way, the second busiest station in Westchester, right after White Plains, along with a host of other upgrades that make this station fully ADA compliant, fully ADA accessible, because it's not just about elevators. There are a lot of other accessibility improvements that need to be made, and we're making them in every one of our ADA accessibility jobs. Listen, I am so proud of how the MTA is stepping up to improve accessibility to mass transit. We are knocking out ADA projects 5 times the pace of prior MTAs. Let me say that again. 5 times as fast as they used to do ADA projects, we're doing that now at the MTA. For me, this is very personal. Many people have heard me talk about how my mother, towards the end of her life, said to me, you got to deal with the accessibility issue, because she felt like she wasn't a New Yorker anymore because she couldn't use the subway system. My grandmother lived in Larchmont, and she went through some of the same issues at the end of her life. She used to take Metro North to come into town and visit us, and she couldn't at the end of her life. Making the system up here ADA accessible is really personal for me. Now, I want to give kudos to Jamie and the team at Construction and Development, who are not slowing down on Metro North work. We just opened Hartsdale last week, and we've got additional improvements at Purdy's Station, which already has 2 elevators. We need ADA accessibility for seniors. We need it for young families that have strollers. We need it for, yes, people who are bringing scooters and e-bikes and bikes onto the train so they don't have to have an extra car sitting in their driveway. We want them to be able to use elevators to get on off the train. Don't try to charge that e-bike on Metro North, and we'll give you a ticket if you do, but we want them to feel accessibility to the system. We're also moving forward with ADA upgrades at 3 Bronx Metro North stations right now. Completely new platforms, amenities, and elevators at Woodlawn and Williamsbridge, a full rehab at the Bronx Botanical Garden. So it's going to be another great year for accessibility at MTA. This is a legacy issue for today's MTA. We are fully committed to making sure that everybody has the ability to use our system. So with that, let me turn it over to the amazing President of Metro North Railroad, Kathy Rinaldi.
Thank you, Jano. It's great to be back here again on the Harlem Line celebrating yet another ADA opening. This project, like the Hartsdale project that we celebrated last week, is what our core mission is about: delivering excellent customer service and improving regional mobility for all of our customers. With the new elevator, walkways, and amenities, Scarsdale customers can now much more easily access Metro North's safe and reliable transportation to Manhattan and to other destinations in Westchester, Bronx, and Putnam counties. We're thrilled now that we're in the new year to be welcoming people back after the holidays. Looking back on 2023, we ran an incredible service, better than 97% on-time performance, which is something that we're very proud of. That doesn't happen on its own. It happens because of the fantastic work of the entire Metro North team. I want to celebrate them as well today. We've got some representatives from our fantastic stations department here today, and just so happy to be here celebrating this new milestone with all of you. And now I would like to introduce Senator Shelley Mayer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Jano. This is a great day, and not just from Scarsdale. I should remind people who don't know, this station serves people from all the adjacent communities. I live in Yonkers. This is my station. People that live in Greenburgh, this is their station. People who live in Eastchester on Garth Road, this is their station. So you say Scarsdale, that's the name of the station. This is a community station, the second most busy station. And if you're here on a morning, and credit to Metro North and the MTA, ridership is back up substantially, and you come here on a weekday morning and you will see thousands, literally thousands of people anxious to get on the train and return to the life they had pre-COVID. So I want to credit the MTA for its real commitment to rebuilding and strengthening all of the stations, particularly on accessibility. And the other point on accessibility, we use the word ADA, and people think it's only applicable to wheelchairs and people with limited mobility, which it is, and credit to your advocacy for that. But it's also for thousands of families who have strollers, and we want to encourage them. Get back on the train, go back into New York City, or go back north to White Plains. Make the train your transportation of choice, and the MTA is making that happen. So thank you for this investment and for this critical work by the people who actually built it and the whole MTA team. Thank you so much. And next I'm going to introduce my colleague, Amy Paulin from the New York State Assembly.
Thank you. I want to also thank the MTA team. I miss them. I worked closely with them when I was the corporation's chair. This is so critically important, and I was so happy to hear that there are stations to the south of Scarsdale that are also getting renovated, because not only do you need to get on the train, you need to get off the train. And not everyone is going to Grand Central, where you can get off the train. So there needs to be accessibility across the line in order to fully allow everyone who is using mass transit to be able to effectively use it. So I too, this is my station. I commuted here many years ago, lined up in those little bubbles, hoping that the doors are gonna open right in front of you. I can tell you that there is a huge increase. And I'm also appreciative of the Hartsdale train, because the other side of Scarsdale, where I actually commuted from years ago, is also a station that is for Scarsdale residents. So Scarsdale has a big win here. But as Shelley pointed out, it's Scarsdale, it's Yonkers, it's Eastchester, and it's Edgemont Greenburgh. So you have really served such a large portion of our community. It's for not only people in wheelchairs, it's for pregnant women at the end of their pregnancy who are still commuting to Manhattan or still want to go to Manhattan to enjoy the activities there. It's for my daughter when she broke her leg and wanted to be able to still go to Manhattan with her friends. It is for everyone who at their time, whether it's a permanent disability or whether it's a temporary one, it's so that they too can enjoy going back and forth across the MTA line. So thank you to everyone involved. Thank you to Kathy. Thank you to Jano. Thank you to the next speaker, who I'm going to call up, Jamie Torres Springer. Thank you all of you for being here and welcoming this new great addition.
County executive's going to go.
Oh, okay. My good friend George Latimer is the next speaker. I screwed up. The county executive, Westchester County.
My fault.
No problem. Thanks very much. Well, I had a very good speech, and Shelley took the first half of it, Amy took the second half of it. So as I stand here at the microphone, let me go in a different direction. I grew up here in Westchester County. I've lived almost all my life in Westchester, but for 5.5 years, I worked in a corporate setting in which I was relocated, and I lived in areas of Philadelphia, Washington, and Cleveland, Ohio. And I remember before each of those different moves, I didn't know the areas that I was moving into. And so I had to ask the people in the unit that I was moving to, where should I live? What makes for a desirable place to live around the Philadelphia, around the Washington, and around the Cleveland locations that I was assigned to? And I don't think about those decisions very much now because they were a long time ago. But that is the decision process that people make when they decide that they're going to live in the New York area. And many times those are people who are working for major corporations, and they're coming here into the New York area because they work in Manhattan or they work out here in Westchester or in Fairfield County, Connecticut, or one of the other areas. And every time we do a survey and a study, 4 or 5 basic things come up as being reasons. They look for what are good schools. They look for what is cute downtown communities that can make you feel like a hometown, like Justin Arist has here in Scarsdale and these other communities as well. They look for an area that's safe. But in almost every situation, high on the list is accessibility to the major city of the region. Now, and there is no major city greater than New York City. But if you're going to move to Philadelphia and you have to be in Philadelphia, you want to know, what is my access? Do I want to sit on the Schuylkill Expressway bumper to bumper for an hour and a half every day? Do I want to be on Shirley Highway going from the suburbs of Alexandria into the district? No. And what New York has that none of these other areas has at the same level is mass transit. Suburban rail that matches up with urban inner-city rail that can allow you the ability to go from the place that you choose to live in to the place that you work in. And as Amy pointed out, that job may not just be in Manhattan. It could be in the Bronx. It could be in a different setting here in Westchester County where people reverse commute up to White Plains. This station has the population that it has getting on the train here because of the people who choose to live in this area, in those communities that Shelley mentioned, in the Edgemont section of Greenburgh, the Garth Road section of Eastchester, here in Scarsdale, in the north east corner, Colonial Heights and Beach Hill of Yonkers. And in every one of those things, what they look for is exactly what Metro North is providing here, an easy access into the city of New York, which is the economic lifeblood of this region. You may hear some other county executives talk about New York City in a certain way. Not this county executive and not in this county. We recognize our collegial relationship with the city of New York, how the economic strength of New York City is helpful and essential to the economic growth of Westchester County. Do not kid yourself. People come to Westchester because of its proximity and accessibility to New York City. So what has happened last week in Hartsdale, what's happening today in Scarsdale, I might add what's happening way up in Purdy's, because that's part of my turf too, 25 miles up the road, is making it easier for Westchester residents to be able to commute in and out of the city. And if you make it easier for a Westchester resident to do that, you have a better chance of having those people come to Westchester County, be part of our economic strength, become part of our social network, and it's why this county is as successful as it is. So thank you to Metro North Railroad for being able to make this step forward of accessibility, make New York City that much more accessible to us. And now instead of listening to the guys who talk about how great it is, let's talk about the guys who actually did it. Next up is, in fact, Jamie Torres Springer, who's MTA Construction and Development President, and he's going to tell us how they raised this thing 7 inches. I can't wait to hear how they did that.
Looks like you just did it. You stole my thunder, County Executive. But thank you, and thank you so much. We're at the MTA. We're so lucky to have such great, strong Westchester elected officials. So we thank you all for everything that you do. we're, as Jano said and Kathy has said, we are getting elevators built and ADA upgrades made at a torrid pace, and we're very excited to be getting this one done. And a lot of that is thanks to the innovation at MTA Construction and Development, and a lot of that innovation is supported by our state legislators in particular. Including our ability to use design build and other tools that we've been granted to be able to get work done better, faster, and cheaper. And that's how we got this elevator at Scarsdale. With this elevator, more than 3/4 of New York full-time Metro North stations are ADA accessible. We'll get to 80% once we get Purdy's done, and once we get those 3 Bronx Metro North stations done during this capital program, that'll get us up above 80% accessibility, and we'll get that other 20% done in short order as well. We're very proud of this elevator, which we were able to install as part of this project. We do what we can to maximize the customer benefits when we're doing an ADA accessibility project. Here we also created a more inviting area for passengers waiting in the overpass by installing new benches and lean bars, which include USB charging ports. We installed new LED lighting and new heaters to make for a more comfortable experience during the winter months. And we did, as the county executive said, raise that overpass by 7 inches so that it won't be hit by work trains coming up the Harlem line, and we can get even more work done more efficiently. So we're very proud of this work. Great partnership with the community. I want to thank the Village of Scarsdale, the Westchester County Parks Department for their patience with us, coordinating easements, coordinating access and staging on this open space site right here, and shifting the motorcycle parking lot to accommodate for the footprint of this new elevator. We had a great collaboration here to get this work done. And lastly, let me just recognize our great Railroads business unit. Ziona Rubin is here, along with Crystal and her team. Thank you. And her team and county executive, that's who got the work done. Her team, Margarita Kalbitaza and Matt Hansen, who are here. Mukesh Mehta, our program director, who's here and oversees all of our station work on Metro North. He's got a lot more work to do in the next few years. And I want to thank our contractor from Paul J. Scariano and our construction manager from AECOM. Takes a big team to get this work done, and here things came together very well. So we're very grateful. And with that, I want to hand it over to my partner in this work, our accessibility chief, Camilla Arroyo.
Thank you so much, Jamie. My name is Camilo Arroyo. I have the pleasure to serve as the MTA's very first Chief Accessibility Officer. It is a pleasure to be here today to celebrate the opening of a new, fully accessible Scarsdale station. Excited to be back in Westchester for another opening just 1 week later. As a regular Metro North rider myself, I know that every new elevator and ramp unlocks new trips, new destinations, and new potential for people like me who use mobile devices, and it makes that trip that much easier for families with strollers, visitors, those with luggage, or commuters with bikes who ride the MTA. Bikes or scooters, as you heard Jano say. What you see here today represents our vision of a system that is not just ADA compliant, but a system that truly provides our riders with the access that they need to have a seamless transition around the system from one side of the station to another throughout the entire network and system. While this station had ramps already on the southbound platforms and an elevator on the northbound platform, the process to move between was complicated and hazardous without using stairs. This meant that customers who needed step-free access needed to be dropped off at one side, picked up at another side for each leg of their trip, with no real complete journey and independence moving around. This new elevator will allow those customers a seamless transition to use an overpass for the first time, empowering our customers to use this station independently and reducing the obstacles that customers have when using our systems in the past here. This is what a better MTA looks like, and I am excited to see more of this going forward. As I mentioned, unlocking new destinations, and here it means that all of our customers can now easily grab a babka at Martine's, or a wedge at the Parkway Cafe, or get the beautiful waterfall along the Bronx River. Most of our stations don't have a beautiful waterfall a stone throws away, and that's what we're celebrating here today. It is truly a pleasure. I have to thank the disability advocates that are here with us today, in addition, Chris Greif and the rest of the team. Thank you so much for keeping us to the fire and keeping us expanding accessibility throughout the system. A couple of words in Spanish for our viewers home. Estamos aquí celebrando una nueva estación accesible, totalmente accesible aquí en Scarsdale, para que todos los neoyorquinos que usen la estación tengan el acceso que tanto necesitan. tanto como personas con discapacidad, personas envejecientes y visitantes que pueden venir con coches, con una bicicleta. El acceso es totalmente universal y eso es lo que estamos aquí celebrando. Para mí es un gran honor y un placer y muchas gracias. Nos vemos pronto cuando regresemos aquí a Westchester para celebrar la apertura de Purdy Station. So we will be back. Thank you guys. Now, last but not least, I want to turn it over to Mayor Scarsdale, Justin Aris.
Thank you so much. And I didn't put him up to that. I appreciate that commercial and that plug for our Village Center. Accessibility and inclusivity are two things that are always on our mind, particularly with planning and projects. That's why it's really so important for us to be here today. And as the chair said, this is absolutely more than just about an elevator. It's about this station being accessible for everyone. So thank you so much to the MTA and Metro North for all the work that went into doing this. It truly was a partnership. I want to thank Scarsdale Village staff who put in a lot of hours to make sure that from our end we were helping and assisting in every way that we could. And of course the local electeds, Shelley, Amy, and George, who are always on our side and helping us and making sure that exciting things like this, important things for everyone, not just Scarsdale residents, but the area in general, are done. And so thank you for everyone for being here in Scarsdale today.
Okay, Ray. You need
Thank you so much, everyone. I want to make sure the media here, any on-topic questions that we have on the Scarsdale station being fully accessible. On-topic questions. Okay, no on-topic questions for our feed. We are going to play B-roll of the new elevator opening up here on the southbound platform, and then we will return back for off-topic questions in just a little bit.
Beautiful too. Nice and clean. I know.
Welcome back, everyone. Now we are taking off-topic questions. Mr. Chairman, we're going to start first with WCBS TV's Jennifer Bisram.
Hi, Mr. Lieber. How are you?
Jennifer.
Good thing that's being done here today.
Thank you.
I'm here to ask a question, though, about the derailments. 1 week, there were 2 in less than a week. How can you ensure people who ride the subway that it's safe? And what's being done to make sure that this doesn't happen again?
Well, number one, derailments are really infrequent. It is weird that there were 2 in a week because the numbers say that derailments happen once every 3 to 10 million trips. You get in an automobile, you have a derailment once every 60 or 70,000 trips. So subway is the safest way to go. But that said, whenever there's a derailment, we take it very seriously. And the derailment yesterday was, no one was injured. It was a bit of a one-off. We are looking at all the things that could have played a role: the switches, the signals, the equipment, and the track. And it looks like the track may have been the cause. That track was inspected by the track mobility car, the track geometry car, a couple weeks ago, and it was in good shape. So we got to look at what might have gone wrong with that track. But as I said, no one was injured. And we have a really strong record on safety. Customers should feel good.
I think in last week's incident, one of the operators said that they tried to stop or at least alert the supervisor, but couldn't, and the supervisor kept going. Are you aware of that? Do you ever?
Oh yeah, the investigation is pretty far along. I'm not going to get ahead of the National Transportation Safety Board, which is doing an investigation parallel with ours, but it does look like communication between the two people who are responsible for moving that out-of-service train, which had been vandalized, may have played a role, and we're looking very closely at whether the protocols for communication to prevent that kind of thing were followed. So we're looking very closely at that, but as I said, the investigation's ongoing, and we're going to let all the public know whatever the findings are real soon.
Can I ask you one more? Any response to those who say that the subway system needs to be redesigned?
Well, we have a great subway system in New York. Nobody else has got a system that's got 472 stations. It's one of the very few things that makes New York affordable. It's about 10 to 15% the cost of owning an automobile. Look at other world cities, it's way more expensive. It doesn't take you end to end for one price. And you know, our system gets us all over 600 plus miles of track, 472 stations. We love our system, but we want to expand it to serve more people.
Mr. Chairman, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Arroyo,
All
Mr.
good?
Torres Springer.
All good.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And President Rinaldi. Thank you, everybody.